Collateral is a 2004 American neo-noir action thriller film directed and produced by Michael Mann. The film follows Max, a Los Angeles cab driver, and his customer, Vincent. When offered a high fare for driving to several locations, Max agrees, but soon finds himself taken hostage by Vincent, who turns out to be a hitman on a contract killing spree. It features the greatest movie star of all time, Thomas Napover the Fourth. Jamie Foxx and Jada Pinkett cheats on Will Smith. Collateral was released in the United States on August 6, 2004, and grossed over $220 million worldwide. The film received critical acclaim, in particular for the performances of Cruise and Foxx. Mann's direction and the editing. Overall, the pacing and second half of the film received a mixed reception. Goodness. So today's episode sponsored by the Church of Scientology, which is not going to impact this discussion in any way. We're not being influenced.
Hail Xenu. Hail Xenu.
Out of 9.5 to 11 out of 10, how good's Tom in this?
It depends on your level of tolerance for the cruise, Meister.
It's extremely high. We love him.
Would you use the term "we" very loosely? Tom Cruise, mate. I can. He's just the same guy in every film, except in this one, he's the bad version of that same guy. He doesn't smile in this one, does he?
No, because he's playing a completely different character, like the greatest actor in the world that he is.
He's such a chameleon.
He is. He's got different haircut.
Has he won an Oscar?
I think he won one for 4th of July, didn't he?
That's questionable. All right, somebody tell us. That was the one where he was. I don't know. Listener.
How are they joining in? This is pre-recorded.
Well, they could send us an email.
Has Tom Cruise won an Oscar?
I was Googling it. This is good quality.
Best Supporting Actor 2000 for Magnolia, 97.
It's saying nominated.
Jerry Maguire, 97, and 1990, both on the 4th of July.
Yeah, Dan, I'd like you to calm down. It says nominated. There was no he won.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not. No, nominated for is not winning. It's like the guy that comes 10th in the 100-meter race when Usain Bolt just cleans him up. Who cares about number 10? Doesn't matter that he was
first in my heart.
Okay, that's right. I can accept that. Look, Tom Cruise, I think, is, yes, a massive megastar, but he is an acquired taste. Like Tom Cruise, I can watch him in some things and think he's completely badass, and watch him in others and go, "Ugh, fuck, he's doing the Tom Cruise shtick again."
Well, you like him in this one? That's what we're talking about.
I think they could have. Fuck you, Dan. I think they could have hired anybody else to play this role, and it would have been the same film, or maybe a better film, actually.
Who would have liked great in this?
Give me a Gary Oldman something. He would have pulled off the who's like a hired killer actor. It's definitely like when I think hired killer assassin, I don't go, yeah, Tom Cruise would be a sweet assassin. I think like Antonio Banderas. He's an assassin. Yeah.
Well,
remember that guy?
He's pretty damn cheesy. You've seen The Mexican? What's that Mexican and then the mariachi? Like he's pretty cheese.
If they'd put Brad Pitt in, maybe Brad Pitt could have pulled off the bad guy in this. Anyway,
No way. Tom Cruise was great in Interview with the Vampire. If you watch that movie again, Tom Cruise is awesome, and Brad Pitt is phoning it in all the way.
Okay, future episode.
100%.
All right. Well, I mean, let's
Tom's
delve
great.
deeper. Let's delve deeper into Daniel's love, sweet, sweet man love of Tom Cruise, because you obviously have strong thoughts on his acting abilities.
I think he's great. That's about it.
Was that it? Okay, fine.
No, I actually find that he's actually really unfairly put upon. There's all that criticism of him, but I just really like him as an actor. He's always in a good film. But pretty much all his films are great.
He
makes high quality stuff,
right?
Yeah, he's good performance in all of them. I just think he's an actor that always tries his best and always tries to be in a good movie. And he does all the stunts. The stunts are crazy. The things he does. And that Mission Impossible movie, he's actually flying the helicopter and operating all the cameras on the helicopter. There's like 5 cameras on the helicopter. He's operating them as well as doing those stunts and maneuvers and acting at the same time.
You know what there, Dan? I call bullshit. He's not flying the helicopter.
What evidence do you have?
Just like he's the making of the film, and he's not flying the jet planes in Top Gun 2 either.
I fly some of them, yeah.
No, he doesn't. He sits in the cockpit, and the guy behind him, behind the scenes documentaries.
You're talking nonsense. Because there's documentaries of him in the helicopter flying it and doing the stunt. And you can see him doing it. He's sitting there, and it's like little GoPro footage of him doing it.
He's not doing it.
I know one of the Mission Impossible films. Simon Pegg said that they were going to do one driving stunt, and he said, "Who's the stunt driver?" And they said, "We're getting Tom." He said, "Oh, Tom, can Tom do it?" And the stunt driver coordinator said, "Tom's our best stunt driver. Don't worry." Tom's a better stunt driver than the professional stunt drivers. It's great.
Well,
he's been doing this all his life. He knows what he's doing.
Tom's amazing.
Actually in the car, giving it his all, and people don't appreciate it.
How dare I naysay Tom Cruise? I mean, he's worth every penny of his. What does he get a movie now, like 30 mil or something?
Well, the thing is, he owns his own production company now, and he gets the financing, and he's just getting distributorship through the studios. He's been doing that a long time, so he's getting the back end. He owns the film.
He's getting back. That motherfucker's rich.
Yeah, he owns Mission Impossible. He actually bought the rights, so that's why he's cranking out film after film, and he's taken all the lion's share of the money.
Does it all? Well, no. Do you think he keeps it, or do you think it goes to Scientology?
This episode is sponsored by the Church of Scientology, and we can't get into that sort of thing.
Hail Xenu, 555 Scientology.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, he moved to Miami now, next to the new giant Scientology center getting built there and stuff.
Yeah. All right.
Have you ever done a Scientology test?
No.
Years ago, you can go to their website, you can fill in a little test. And I did it one night, and at the end it said that I had a troubled personality, and I had to immediately report into a center to be, dethaterized or whatever.
Isn't it cleansed? Yeah, I can't remember what it is.
I don't know.
Yeah, did you go? Did you go? Did you get cleansed?
Well, there's no Scientology in New Zealand back then. But otherwise, I would have gone immediately and used the discount code XenoRocks. That it's going to get you 25% off. Yeah,
Hail Xenu.
For your first reading.
Yeah. Who else is in this film? Is everybody just under the shadow of Tom Cruise?
Yes.
I guess that's true.
There's Tom Cruise and no one else in this film. There's some supporting actors. I don't know. They've been in something. Who cares?
Just shadow people.
Some guy named Jamie Foxx. Never heard of him. And
he used to be a comedian.
I don't know. And there's a woman. I don't know any more than that. It's just a female.
So let's talk the reality of the premise where I'm I'm a mafioso. I'm a mafia boss, and I need 6 people murdered in LA. So I'm going to hire somebody to fly into LA, and I need them to kill those 6 people. Do you think the smartest course of action for that killer is to hire a cab and get that cab to drive you to all 6 locations? Does that sound wise to you?
Well, it worked the first time he did it. Like he'd done it before,
That's
hadn't
right. They did say, yeah, like the year before or whenever. Yeah. And it was, the cabbie ended up getting shot. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's a perfect plan.
Perfect plan. I don't see any flaws in it at all.
Well, yeah, you got someone to blame at the end of it. Like, why follow the trail if the trail leads to this dead guy lying on the ground that, killed 6 people and then shot himself?
If you want a solution to a problem wrapped up in a nice bow is always a dead cabbie, right?
Yeah. Would you ever be a contract killer?
It depends on the contract, I suppose.
Like, if you were only killing bad people and the money was right, like you're going to get $100,000 each person you killed, and they're all terrible people, and you've got the skills to do it. Like you're ex-army, you know how to take people out. You've killed people before at war, and these are all bad people. These are drug dealers. These are scumbags. Would you do it?
This is all purely hypothetical. I mean, they don't even have to be scumbags for the right amount of money.
Yeah.
You weren't expecting that, were you? You're expecting, oh no, couldn't kill anybody. These are tough times. That's what I would have said. No. Papa needs money in the bank.
Yeah.
I wonder what the people on the other side of these thin walls think I am. I'm talking about mafia bosses and taking out 6 people in an evening.
I think that's the fun thing about films like these is like you get to think, oh, if I was a hitman, Yeah, it's like Breaking Bad. You're like, if I was Walter White and I was running a drug empire, this is what I would do.
I would have done that different, Walter.
Yeah, I remember going through Breaking Bad and saying to people, if I was Walter White, Walter White's being a pussy right now, I would have taken those motherfuckers out like the first day. Why is Walter fucking around? Just kill them already, like.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how
it's dramatic effect. You've got to have ups and downs.
I don't know.
Yeah. So Jamie Foxx. I honestly, in the first 5 minutes of this film, I could not stop staring at his hairline. I found it very distracting. It was almost like it was drawn on with a magic marker. Is that standard? Or was that just at the time? Maybe it was a wig. Was it a wig?
My theory is he's bald and it's a hairpiece.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But then I saw some footage of Arsenio Hall from the 90s the other night, and he had the same cut. Maybe it was just like that's the style that folks wanted at the time.
No, I watched one of those hairpiece things on the YouTubes. And
as you do, you're just fucking surfing in the middle of the night looking up hairpieces.
Yeah, well, I'm a baldy, so I look at these things and go, But
I could use a mini weave.
Yeah, no one will notice if it all just grew back immediately. But yeah, it's like, with us Caucasian people, we've got long wavy hair. We can cover up a hairline. You can brush it forward. You don't see that hairline at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But with the people of African origin, you've got the frizzy hair. You don't quite have that luxury. So you get these weird lines, apparently.
Yeah. I'm just laughing at the what was it? People of African origin. Nice.
I'm trying to be sensitive in this age of culture.
We will for this episode because we're getting big now and people are noticing us. We better play nice.
Yeah, it's really, you got to go Jerry curl to be convincing these days, guys.
Yeah, Jerry, make it look a little bit wet when it's curled, like wet pubes on your head.
Yeah, That's what Sam Jackson did. Work the treat.
Oh, Sam, that's who should have been the cabbie in this film. Motherfucker. Where you wanted, that would have made it so much better. Jamie Foxx, and honestly, this film, I found it weak. Like I didn't think anything was particularly standoutish. It was unmemorable. I get Michael Mann's whole shtick and his thing. Is it Michael Mann? Is he the director? Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was nothing in it that stuck with me or will stick with me since I watched it. And I wouldn't watch it again for any reason. There was nothing to bring me back apart from telling people that Jason Statham's in it for 3 seconds at the start. I wish he was in it more.
You can't say I'm a particular fan of Jason Statham. He only makes crap movies. I like this one. Movies. It's more of a realistic thriller. It's a smaller tone. It's just he just goes around and shoots people. It's not like he goes and blows up the entire office block or orders in jet planes to blow up someone's building. It's
but I mean,
a quiet assassination film.
You saw the end coming in the first 20 minutes of the film, though, right? Jamie Foxx is a cabbie. And then the first person you see that he picks up is a name actress, right? Jada Pinkett. You're like, okay, they're not just going to have her in the movie for this one scene. And then he picks up, the guy is going to go around and kill people. So he's going to circle back to the lady that the cab driver had, a connection with. And it was just, the end of the film, I think you said earlier, it drops off a cliff, it's like a tense thriller. And then it just becomes, I don't know, laughable.
Well, I've had some time to actually think about this ending. So we talked about this a little bit previously, that I think the film's underlying theme is about apathy and how we're apathetic. And so normally with the film, if we want to save the girl at the end, the audience has to be get to know that character and think, oh, this is a nice person, and oh no, they're in danger. And so that character needs to be built up in the audience's mind and have a larger role. But she's got a very, very small role in this movie. And so it's a person that Jada Pinkett's character is, I think, intentionally a character we don't really know. We don't know what case she's working on. She could be putting away a crime lord, or she could be working to free a crime lord. We're not really sure.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And so tying into the theme of apathy, this is a character we don't really know. Are we less concerned for her dying because of that? And is that right?
Well, no, because I disagree with what you're saying, because the trope that it's drilled into us from when we're kids is that there's the hero and the heroine and they're always going to win. So I was never worried that she was going to live or die. She's always going to make it, because the cab driver was the hero of the film, not Tom Cruise this time.
You always know Luke Skywalker's going to win. Do you not care?
Yep. I
logic bomb.
No.
Oh.
But Luke does die. Luke does die, right? In The Last Jedi, which is your favorite film of all time, right?
Oh, cancel Disney Plus. Yeah. But I'm talking in the context of this film about apathy. So the strange thing to me is the most moral, upright person in this film is Tom Cruise's character, Vincent.
Yeah. How is the cabbie not morally upright? What does he do that's immoral?
Well, you think when Tom and Jamie Foxx go visit Jamie Foxx's mother in the hospital, Tom says, aren't you bringing her some flowers? This is mother that carried you for 9 months and gave you life. You don't care about that? And so Tom's like, why don't you care about your mother? This is your mother in hospital. And Tom's like,
doesn't make him a moral person though. He's still a killer. He's still going and push people out of windows and stuff.
Well, my point is, Tom is a moral person who cares, and he can see all the faults of society, and he's become apathetic and given up on society. So he's kind of disgusted at Jamie for the way that he's, not that interested in seeing his mother in hospital, but treating it like a chore.
There wasn't enough like motive given in that scene. You can kind of think, all right, Tom Cruise is doing this because he needs to keep Jamie Foxx, who's again character name I'm never going to remember, driving the cab around. Needs him to get him around because he doesn't want to get another cab. Why doesn't he just get another fucking cab? And then that's the scene that triggers Jamie Foxx to grab the bag and run out and throw it off the bridge, right?
Yeah, but then he's got 2 cab drivers dead on the same night, and now it's looking suspicious. He kind of needs that one, needs to keep it contained, keep the story simpler.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But the thing is, when Vincent goes in and kills that first person, there's a scene later where he ties Jamie Foxx to the steering wheel, and Jamie asks for help, and then sides are like, well, we're going to rob you.
Yeah.
So it's a thing where society's a pretty rough place. I think when Vincent went in to kill that person, that second person, it was a rough neighborhood. You got these rough types around. I think it kind of indicates Vincent was taking out bad people out of society, and he makes a little speech like, the bad people, the terrible people, I got to get rid of them. But then he sort of also says, I don't know if they're good or not. I'm just getting rid of them because if I don't do it, someone else will. It's
right. So there's some
kind of nature.
There's some ambiguity to his character motive. So you're saying possibly, if you relook at this film, that the bad guys win, and Tom Cruise was the good guy all along, killing bad people, and then he gets killed in the train. And Jamie Foxx and the bad defense lawyer who's saving mob bosses get away.
Well, Jamie Foxx's character is completely... He's the guy that wants to start a cab company. He's been saving for 11 years, and Tom says to him, you could have paid a down payment on a limousine 11 years ago, but you didn't. You're putting it off. You're afraid of risks. You're... Again, it's that afraid to take chances and apathetic and not taking charge.
So
that forces Jamie Foxx into his character arc of where he takes more control at the end of the film.
Right, to save the bad lady. But so the way you were talking about this movie, Dan, is Tom Cruise's Lawrence of Arabia. Would that be true? The Citizen Kane of Tom Cruise films? This is the greatest film of all time?
No, I'm just saying it's a good film. It's got a lot to think about because it talks about indifference, how, a hurricane, God causes a hurricane, wipes out people, and the universe is indifferent to us. Yeah. And Vincent is like that force of nature that was a caring person that has become apathetic because, like you said, there's massacres in Rwanda. No one cares, but one bad criminal falls out a window, you're freaking out. Like, we have strange priorities, don't we? One life doesn't meet the value of another life unless it's next to us, proximity. If it's over there, we don't care. If it's next to us, we do care.
But I mean, you have to be honest in that the circle of caring for everybody individually gets much smaller the older you get. Would that be a fair statement? Like when you're young and full of, verve and vigor and you want to save the world and you're doing, the environment, save this and that. And then as you get older, you stop caring about all those bigger picture things, and it becomes more not insular, but the things that are important to you become, I guess, more important. As you have families and all that sort of shit, it becomes a smaller circle of the caring is the best way I can put it. Like, I understand it's sad that world tragedies happen, but if it's not happening on my doorstep, I guess as most people, you just sort of go, okay, I'm glad it's not me. That's horrible, but I'm glad it's not me or mine,
Yeah, I know. When I was younger, I was a different person. And I guess
you're a cunt.
I won't name the organization, but one of those organizations, you sign up on the street to donate money to them, and they're going to save the planet.
Beautiful girls in the street stop you for a chat. That's what you're talking about? Yeah, carry on.
So I signed up. I gave these people X amount of money per month, and then they send you a newsletter. And I think after a couple of months, they sent me a newsletter, and it was on the news. This organization had gone into a family-owned business, a small family-owned business. That was a meatworks, and they had destroyed so many hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment because they were against meat. And this family were outside crying and saying, we're screwed. We're done now. I was like, man, I just funded that.
You're funding a terrorist cell.
Yeah. And this is one of those very prominent, save the world businesses. I think we can all push. It just made me think, wow, like I don't want to be a part of sabotaging small businesses and screwing up people's lives like that. So I pulled the plug on them. And as you go, you get more skeptical and wary, and you. I don't think these people have any more answers than anyone else, and a lot of the time they've got the blinders on, just like, everyone's got their blinders on. These people that believe they know the truth and they can see the truth and other people can't, they're usually the most dangerous people around.
Yeah. And now all those dangerous people can find each other very easily on the World Wide Web.
Oh, what a wonderful invention. All the knitters got together.
What a wonderful invention to learn how to knit some cross-stitch. All right, back on topic. This film, look, it's not one I'd watch again, but I guess as I was watching it, past the time, it was a pretty easy watch. I didn't find it difficult until the tone changed, the second half, where it went from tense, almost a psychological thriller between the two of them, to a rescue mission for the hero. I didn't enjoy the second half where. Not second half. The part where he went after the chick in the office building just seemed a bit too standard Hollywood for me.
So I had two attempts watching this. I watched it all the way through, but I got really tired at the end. And the second half, I didn't enjoy it as much as the first half. People complain about the pacing. Yeah, maybe. But I went back, and the next day I rewatched the second half of the film and thought, really enjoyed it for some reason a lot better.
Did you just rewatch just the second half and not the start? So did you start like halfway through?
Yeah.
It might make a difference, because then you're feeling like it's that one tone. It doesn't change tone.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of scenes where they talk about the themes of the movie a couple too many times. Got a bit repetitive. It could have been cut down a wee bit more.
Yeah. But all right, you are rolling into a United Video Store. What are you going to pick up at the same time as this for your Friday night entertainment? What are you double bagging it with?
I'm going to double feature this with The Last Samurai.
Oh, so another Tom Cruise piece of shit.
The only thing better than one Tom Cruise movie is two Tom Cruise movies. That's all I'm going to say. Great. Fabulous.
Get spit roasted by Tom Cruise. I'm going to put it with another transportation orientated movie, and it's going to be The Transporter with Jason Statham. The original. No. Let's go to The Transporter 2, just because we can.
You're not going to make a Transporter 3 where it gets really good?
Well, there's the lady that runs around in her underwear in that, or is that The Transporter 2? I don't know. I'm just going to go with 2 because I feel like 2 is where it's going to dip slightly. There's Transporter 1, good times, then the dip in the 2, and then it might come back in 3. But I'll put the dip with Collateral for sure.
Oh, God. Okay, so on IMDb, Collateral gets 7.5. Someone says they gave it a 9, a thriller with style to spare. And someone gave it 8, 2 hours, edge of seat, great thrill ride.
No.
I got
Be a pretty small seat.
Well, they're a fat person, probably.
Yeah.
5, Tom Cruise plus Michael Mann equals a tepid thriller. And another 5, great premise, but ultimately stupid movie. Goodness me.
All right. How many Xenu volcanoes to give this out of 10?
I'm going to have to give this 7 hydrogen bombs out of possible 10.
Wow. That's
on the
a
surface
big call.
of the Earth. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to give it 4 L. Ron Hubbard sailor's caps out of 10. I think that's agreeable. I wouldn't watch it again, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody else. So if you're looking for something to watch tonight, don't watch Collateral. Watch Edge of Tomorrow instead, because that's good Tom Cruise. Segue. What's your top tier Cruise? What's Tom Cruise's finest moment?
Tom Cruise's finest moment.
Is that a big question?
Oh, he's had so many.
But what jumps to mind? Like for me, I'd throw Jerry Maguire out there, man. That was a badass film. I mean, badass isn't the right word, but it was a good film. He's good in it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mission
He's pretty
Impossibles.
Great. Yeah, when you talk about him doing the same thing over and over again, like what about Tropic Thunder when he was the producer? That was great.
Yeah, wonderful. more of a cameo than a Tom Cruise film, though.
Best part of the film.
Nah. Never Go Full Retard is the best part of the film. Never Go Full Retard. Anyway. Stumped him. We'll have to come back to it.
The best of Tom Cruise. Because I'm going to forget all the films, aren't I?
So you hear that, everybody? You can't even pick a
they're all so
Tom
good.
Cruise film.
They're all so good.
All right, okay, I'll give you that. So good you can't pick one. I did that with the Beatles on our Beatles episode, so go and listen to that one. It's far better than this one.
What?
Ridiculous. Well, it's just, okay. I'm telling people to listen to our other episodes is what I'm saying. I'm doing a bit of sly advertising. Go and listen to our Beatles Let It Be episode, which is better than this one.
Goodness me. Oh, let's knock it on the head.
Oh my God.